We're in the third week of April, and this time of year, and probably right the way through till about the middle of June, if you come across willow in the hedgerow when you're out walking, you can cut the rods and strip the bark off. So this is kind of what you're looking for, nice long slender rods out in leaf, and they'll be right for stripping. Now you can use some fancy tools to strip the bark off, and these are known as brakes. There's two on the right have this ring design. It's springy and one's bigger than the other, and they would be strapped onto or nailed onto a post, and then you draw the rod through this springy steel here, and that squeezes the bark off. This one is probably used for more finer rods, and it has an adjustment down here so you can alter that gap between the two bars, and you pull the willow in through the top and pull it towards you, and that peels the bark off. But we're going to use a much simpler method. We're going to score it with a knife and then peel it off with our hands. When you've got your willow rod, you can strip the leaves off just by running it through your hands, and maybe cut the tip end off where it's started to branch, but you've got that nice long rod there. When you've stripped it, you'll end up with a white rod, which is nice and flexible, and we'll discuss what you can do with that sometime. And also the bark. It came off in one piece, but I've split this down into two because I'm going to make some cordage from it. Okay, so this is a 6 foot length of willow, and I've scored it all the way down. To get started is sometimes tricky. I'm just picking at the score at the thick end of the willow, we call the butt end. I'm just picking at it until I can lift a little bit of it, and then I'm going to run my thumbnail down, just easing it up as I go. So I'll go down the complete length of the rod on one side, doing that, and then I'll come back and start lifting the other side, just getting it to raise up. If it splits, it splits, doesn't matter. It's nicer to get it off in one piece if you can, and obviously the bigger diameter the willow, the wider piece of bark you'll get. So I've got a little bit of an irregular knot or something here I'm having to work out a little bit more, and the bark has split a little bit around that, but not too bad. Not sure, I think that's where it's rubbed against another rod. So I can then just run my thumb in a little bit harder on both sides, and you can see it's lifting off, and eventually we'll be able to pop it off. This bit's split, so it's going to come off in two bits, and go all the way down the rod, pulling it off. You may find that this white rod, particularly later on in the season, when you leave it, the oxygen in the air reacts with the sap, and the whole thing turns scarlet. It's quite alarming if you're not expecting it. You walk back in the next morning and all your rods, it looks like somebody's painted them scarlet. This will fade to a brown eventually, and if you want to get back to a nice white colour, you just need to run some sandpaper over it. It's where a second bark, the underneath bark, is forming. Obviously each year the bark gets a little thicker, and it does so by adding new layers underneath the existing bark, and it's this reacting with the oxygen that can sometimes turn it that scarlet colour. It's a pity it doesn't stay like that, but there we go. Okay, so doing this one-handed is tricky, so I'm going to stop the video now and show you the end result. So here's our roll of willow bark with the inside of the bark now on the outside, and if I pop an elastic band around that, I can leave it to dry out. I can use it straight away if I want to make cordage or something like that, but if I pop a band around that and leave it to dry out in an airy place, And then I can keep that for a number of years if I want to. And when I want to use it, if I just drop it in some warm water, you know, what you'd wash your hands in, just for about 10-15 minutes, it will soften, and then you can use it for putting into baskets or whatever else you want to do with it.